So that was music of Mark Blitzstein, and the first of my 11 operas actually, and of my 9th opera, were completions of works of his. First on Tales of Leonard Lehrman, and then on Sacco and Vanzetti. Are you familiar with the case of Sacco and Vanzetti? Is that part of American history that you've studied? Yes? No? No.
Hardly.
No. Well, Sacco and Vanzetti were two anarchists who were, after a long trial, executed for a crime that they did not commit, and it was an international scandal.
20th century. What century?
1927. Yes, 20th century. Yeah. I mentioned that the American Embassy had an important role to play in my life twice, and the second time actually was in 1985 when at the Soyuz Compositorov they showed a video of two of my operas based on Russian stories, one on David Yakovlevich Eisman's Chita Krasavitsky, and the other was Semeny Человек of Sholokhov. And I brought a video of it, and it was American system. So they didn't have American system at the Soyuz Compositorov. And your friend Mark Smith came in a cab with a big tape player, which was necessary at that time, and with the American system, they showed it to an audience that included Andrei Ashpai and Sonia Kubadulina and others. So that was the other time that the American Embassy was very, very helpful to us. Now, these next two songs were written by my teacher, Elie Siegmeister, and Abel Meeropol, who is not perhaps so well known. These are three recordings we did for the centennials of Mark Blitzstein and Elie Siegmeister and Abel Meeropol. He's best known for the song "Strange Fruit" that Billie Holiday made famous. You know that. It's about a lynching, but he actually the most significant thing that he did in his life was he adopted the orphan sons of Ethel and Julius Rosenberg. That gave him a lot of trouble, but it was a very brave thing to do. And he and Elie Siegmeister collaborated on a number of works in opera, and this next song that I found Siegmeister, when I graduated from high school, gave me a whole bunch of his songs in 1967, and it included this song from 1945, which he had sort of forgotten. It's about the only American buried in the Kremlin. Who's that? John Reed. John Reed. And I knew this song, and I was when I was living in Berlin. I was working on a musical about Emma Goldman. We're going to do a scene from that in a little while. But Emma Goldman was a friend of John Reed and a very important anarchist, Russian Jewish American feminist anarchist. She left Russia in 1886, and she was deported from America to Russia in 1919. And there was a committee to bring back Emma Goldman to America in 1934. On that committee were John Dewey, Corliss and Norman Thomas, Elmer Rice, and the only living, and Roger Baldwin, who founded the American Civil Liberties Union, inspired by Emma Goldman. The only living member of that committee, the only member of that committee who was still alive when I was doing this research in 1986 was Corliss Lamont, and he was already very old. But he had worked for the Emergency Civil Liberties Committee, which my parents worked with, and so they encouraged me, his secretary or his assistant encouraged me to write him a letter to talk to him about Emma Goldman. So I wrote him a letter, and I got a phone call. "This is Corliss Lamont. Everybody's always asking me for money, and I don't know anything about this. Leave me alone." Hung up the phone. 20 minutes later, he called back. "My wife says we should invite you to dinner." Which he did. And he turned out to know a bit about Emma Goldman and even more about John Reed. In fact, he had commissioned this portrait of John Reed at Harvard in 1936, which is still up in Adams' house. And he published all of John Reed's poetry gave me a copy of the publication. I found the last poem that John Reed wrote, a letter to Louise Bryant, to be so beautiful, I decided to set it to music. And then I mentioned it to Corliss a few months after I met him. And I had written it for Helene, and she had sung it, and he was interested in having her sing it, and the Siegmeister Maripol song about John Reed. He flew us up to Boston for the John Reed Centennial. And we videotaped her singing the two songs. And Ellie Siegmeister, who was close to he just turned 80. He only lived another year or two. He looked at the song and he said, "Oh, that's not a very good song." I said, "Wait." And I showed him a video of Helene singing the song. He said, "That's a pretty good song." So I hope you'll agree. It's a pretty good song. This is the song that I wrote. Let me tell one more story.
Absolutely.
When we were in Moscow in June of this year, we wanted to we wanted to visit the grave of John Reed in the Kremlin. Remote. The construction. They wouldn't let us in. And we came all the way from America. We wanted to see the grave of John Reed. Well, the militiaman said, at 1 o'clock we close. I can't let you in, but come back at 1 o'clock and buy a flower and tell them that you want to put the flower on the grave. And then maybe my superiors will let you in. And it worked. We came back, we've had a flower. "Oh, you want to put a flower?" Nobody else could go in. They let us in. We came in, we put the flower on the grave, and we made a video of me putting the flower on John Reed's grave. So now we have that, and it's on YouTube, along with this song. So now you're going to hear a letter to Louise and the song John Reed.
Right. And John Reed wrote the text of this song.
That's right.